Love the Coopers is about a family coming back together around the holidays and the chaos and love that kind of bubbles up throughout everything. And for me, it's about going home with a girl that I meet at the airport when I'm stranded and being like a stranger in the kingdom a little bit. I think Joe provides for Eleanor someone who says, I love you no matter what. Or at least I'm interested in seeing where this goes, even with all these things that you consider faults and issues and fears, and he seems to take it all in stride and still wants to see where it's going to go. And I think Eleanor offers Joe an opportunity to be honest about the guy that he was and true to the person he wants to be, instead of forcing him to fall into one camp of either being the superhero or a total screw-up. Without giving too much away, Joe goes back under the guise of being Eleanor's fiance for her sake, to lie to the family, and meanwhile there's this continuing feeling of being used by Eleanor solely for this purpose, and she wants Joe to lie about who he is just to kind of like paint this rosy picture, and that eventually comes out amidst all these other chaotic elements that this has been a lie the whole time. You put a bunch of people with a lot of history and a lot of fears and a lot of loves and a lot of, resentments and, a lot of hope for the future, and then stick them in a container and screw the lid on tight and see what happens. But I think as we see in this movie or the stories here, it seems like you have these roles and relationships that you're defined by as a kid, and then you move on and you grow up and you change and you go back to a place where those relationships are expected to fall right back into place. And that's impossible, to do that, and unfair to expect that that's how people will behave. Well, she's awesome to start with. And every job is like, for the most part, you're all strangers when you show up, and I mean, she's a pro and she's talented and cares about what we're doing and the story and these characters, and she's so easy to work with, and I was nervous because she's a star and I'm just Jake, you know what I mean? And she's like so welcoming and kind, and there was never a moment where I thought like, she hates me, this is over, yeah, she's just been wonderful. It was a little surreal the moment we're shooting some footage in the hospital, and they had a little green room for us, and I go in and I sit down, and it's like Diane and Marissa and John and Ed and Alex and Timothy and June and Olivia and myself, just sitting in a room, hanging out, waiting to shoot stuff. You're like, that was the surreal moment, was not even like being on set, because you sort of recognize everyone as in costume and in wardrobe, like ready to shoot. But those moments where you're just hanging out back, waiting to shoot, and you're like, this is me and John Goodman just kicking it. Okay, man, and the other thing is that all of them, all these people that I grown up watching and was so excited to get to work with, upon meeting them, are all like just incredibly humble and kind and generous with their time on set and off, and there was no sense of like, know your place kind of thing. It was really generous of all of them to welcome me in. It's a great movie. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch a family get together at the holidays and in the end find the love that is underneath there,